Coming up on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City after show.
You accused me of calling you mentally ill. Get a freaking exorcist.
I had one moment where I just had enough.
Meredith said to Lisa, you know what was the worst is that your hot mic moment made you more of a star.
Here it is. Jack Henry Spirit CA crowdfunding, $25K to $107,000 in crowd note.
Richest girl in the group crowdfunded for peanuts.
Jen was kind of trying to expose Heather to me. Meanwhile, here she is trying to expose Lisa with Heather.
Oh my God.
What the happened?
I was like, who hit her?
She knows something.
So do other people know for a fact what happened to you?
The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City after show starts now.
Heather, we need to know what happened after everyone went to sleep.
Well, we'd love to discuss it, but I ended up with the black guys. So unfortunately, it's privileged information. Sorry, I represent Heather Gay.
It was almost like a game to her, like, let's guess what happened to her.
What happened?
Oh, but what happened?
We don't know.
You're joking.
I've seen black eyes, like that was not a black eye of like roughhousing. Like if Dana and I were to be like wrestling fun drunk and I accidentally took an elbow, that's like a shiner.
Yeah.
This was like her whole eye was
Her
black.
whole eyeball was
So
red.
it was like blunt force.
Yeah.
It was swollen shut. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was blunt force.
Yeah.
Do you want to set the record straight about what happened with your eye?
No, she doesn't. I have to defer anything about that period of time to my attorney, Meredith Marks Esquire. She represents me.
The last 3 people awake was Jen, Heather,
And Meredith.
Has to be one of them. Or unless somebody broke in and just decides to only beat her up and not the rest of us.
You know, at first I'm like, you know, your mind after like FBI, Homeland Security, and New York police show up.
We're looking for Jen Shah.
What the is going on? My mind went a little dark for a minute and I asked Heather, I'm like, hey, did you let someone in your room? Did you like swipe left or right and like someone came to visit you? And, you know, she basically was like, no. So I believed her. And then as I thought about it a little more, I'm like, okay, they were pretty wasted. You know, Heather drinks all day, pretty much every single day. So I'm like, maybe she tripped and fell and is like humiliated about it. Like, I mean, those are kind of the only 2 things. I'm like, someone hit you or you fell and hurt yourself. I mean, what else is there? Am I missing something?
I think she was a little nervous about how much she drank because she asked me to walk out of the club with her and kind of, you know, support her. She forgot her purse. She was having fun. Same thing, the way that her room was such a disaster, I said to myself, maybe she tripped over a shoe or something on the floor and fell. But to be completely honest, I also can't help but wonder, did something happen between her and Jen?
Did anyone notice Jen's behavior? Like she was shook
she
and
was
she
very
was
off.
on her phone, rapidly texting the entire time, and then she'd occasionally interject.
I was watching Jen and she was very off. She was very quiet. She just had a look that it's not her normal energy and just really, she was not present. Her mind was elsewhere. And I just thought, she knows something and they are not coming clean.
So do other people know for a fact what happened to you?
I don't think she can answer that question. Best legal advice out there. Costs a pretty penny. Can't be steered wrong.
Jen comes into your room and is shocked at what she sees.
Girl, you have literally,
That's lipstick.
it's scratches. Oh, is it lipstick?
This is lipstick.
That's not lipstick. What the happened?
I don't want to get anyone in trouble, Jen, but that's why I need you to like help me figure out if someone wants to talk about what really happened last night. We need a cover story is what I'm saying right now.
So Heather, I just want to ask, why even come up with a cover story to begin with?
I don't know, why did we come up with a cover story?
I think that's privileged information.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry. Plead the Fifth, invoke my Fifth Amendment on this one, based on the counsel I've been given.
Jen's theory about it being a spider bite.
We need a cover story is what I'm saying right now.
Like a spider laid eggs in your eyeball. Or you might have poison in your eye. If a
Spider poison?
Yeah, people die from that.
You know when like a little kid is in kindergarten and is like, I have head lice? I've never had head lice and this hasn't happened to me, but like just where the one kid who has the head lice is sitting there talking and talking and talking. And then you're like, oh, that's the little kid with head lice. And sure of all, like that's the kid with head lice. So it was like weird. Like, cause then I was like, well, was it Jen? Because when we went to bed, you guys were the ones running around like still having a good time. I can't fathom Meredith would do this. Like there's no way Meredith did it. So I'm like, what happened with Jen and Heather? I mean, maybe Jen tried to suffocate Heather with her boobs and she pushed her off and things went bad. I don't know. If it's an accident, it's an accident. Just say it. Were you guys fighting? I mean, the theories could go on and on and on. I just think it's weird that she just won't say what happened to her. You look like somebody like clocked you.
Well, maybe somebody did. Well, I think we all know what happened. I just think we don't want to talk about it. I don't want to get anyone in trouble, Jen, but that's why I need you to like help me figure out if someone wants to talk about what really happened last night.
It makes me feel like something happened, and it most likely involves her and Jen, and she's protecting Jen.
Lisa, at this point, your SEC filing becomes a topic of conversation.
They just can't stop talking about me. Oh my God.
I can't imagine wanting to crowdfund for any reason at this stage of my life unless I had no other choice.
I understand Meredith's retaliating and she feels like I came for their finances.
But you want to sit there and say, I'm the richest bitch and you can't afford a home and your husband can't keep a job? First of all, I didn't even bring it up in the Sprinter van to begin with.
There's an SEC filing, a crowdfunding where Lisa's the richest bitch out of all of us, but she's trying to crowdfund for $25,000.
But I don't have a problem with the fact that it was brought up. It is a public legal document that was filed by the Barlows themselves. That is not gossip, that is not rumor, that is something they themselves put into the universe. What is the big deal? And unless there's something to hide, it shouldn't be a big deal.
And kind of the fact that she's making it such a big deal and is so horrified by it.
Why is everybody so worried that I have an SEC filing? Did you talk about me and my businesses?
I really haven't talked about it other than in passing.
You had a conversation with Dana about it, Angie, Heather.
That was the same conversation.
It's like your 6 marketing companies that should generate that weekly. You know, it just feels like you tweeted my dad's obituary, you know, and that's just a double standard.
Well, I didn't really understand it. I had never heard of it.
I still don't even understand what the hell this crowdfunding thing is.
The biggest thing that stood out for me that day was 2 days before San Diego, Jen was sending me information about Heather and her business that was not very positive, talking about how she acquired this failing business and she was a social media for this business and sending, you know, paperwork about the fact that she bought it and it was failing and her husband helped her pay for it. So Jen was kind of trying to expose Heather to me in a not so great light. Meanwhile, here she is 2 days later trying to expose Lisa with Heather.
Jack Henry Spirit CA crowdfunding, $25K to $107,000 in crowd note.
I mean, what are they doing? Like 1 minute you're friends with Lisa and then here you're trying to expose her business. She was also texting me 2 days before the trip that Heather's a lying bitch-ass hoe. Meanwhile, here she's 2 days later exposing Lisa's business with Heather. I was uncomfortable on so many levels on that car ride. I said, I cannot be a part of this. This is not who I am. This is not how I treat friends. And I realized the only way I could make this right was to tell Lisa what they were saying about her.
They brought up something called an SCC.
SEC.
Okay, thank you, an SEC.
Yeah. You know, I'm so grateful that Angie came to my room to tell me that here we go, I'm the topic of conversation again. And it's really frustrating to me and it's really upsetting to me because John and I work really, really hard on our businesses and they're beautiful brands. We make high quality luxury products. So I'm like, why are these people that are supposed to be my friends talking about this?
Meredith, knew about it and she brought it up, but then Heather talked about it and then Jen started pulling information.
Wow. And like, what's next? Literally, what's next?
Meredith went as far as creating a troll account saying that someone overheard me in a bar talking about it. And when Lisa brought it up to me, I was like, I don't know what an SEC filing is. Meredith was the one that says, I don't count other people's dollars.
I don't count anyone else's money.
Yet she was trying to count Lisa's dollars.
I want to make a point here. John and I own our businesses. If John wants to spend all day feeding me grapes, driving me places, if I want to like treat him to a spa day in the middle of the day, we can do whatever we want. We own our businesses. We don't work for anybody else. We don't clock in. We don't punch a time clock. If John wants to make me eggs, John can make me eggs. I mean, Angie was saying they said some ridiculous thing that like John is home making me eggs or something, or I'm home making him eggs. Well, first of all, I don't cook. And second of all, like, we like to go out for breakfast every morning. That's like part of our routine. But we've been in business a long time. We can do whatever we want any time of day we want. I'm the boss. He's the boss.
At the Goddess Dinner, you and Lisa argue semantics about whether her hot mic moment last year was a rant or a tirade.
What I had was a rant.
No, it was a tirade, but go on.
No. It was a rant. Don't relabel it. It was a rant. For me, it was a
well,
rant.
for me, it was a tirade. I can say what I want for me.
What do you think you need to move forward with Lisa in any capacity?
I was hoping to find a level of understanding of her behavior. That didn't happen. All I've heard about is how many times she's apologized, but talk to any therapist, an apology coupled with excuses is not an apology.
I regret saying it. It was a moment of rage. We've all, maybe not to my extreme, had them, and I am very, very sorry.
I have said sorry, and I am not going to beg you for your friendship.
I have apologized to Meredith Marks so many times. It's not enough.
I up one time in our friendship. One time. It was one time, Meredith.
I was like reacting out of hurt.
I hate her. She's a whore. She's half of New York.
And it was ridiculous. I just wanted to let out my hurt and frustration. It wasn't out of hate. It wasn't vitriol or venom. It was like, I am so hurt by you. You're not my friend. And you proved it in Zion with all of your actions. She was blaming me for everything, for talking about her father's memorial.
Stop right now. Speculate on my father's death. No, I did not.
When Heather was the one that led that conversation.
She told me the night before that she wasn't going to be there, so I assumed it was because she had to go to her memorial in Aspen.
And I was trying to be a good friend to her, knowing that she was literally not a good friend to me.
This nonsense of, I would reach my boiling point. Lisa, I asked you 100 times last year, what's wrong? I feel hostility. What's going on here? Is there a problem? No, if you feel hostility, it's coming from you. And instead, she went and just decided to completely, defame my character and my entire family.
Her and a dumb family that poses.
Meredith likes to say I was talking about her long before the hot mic moment. It's 100% not true. Everyone was shocked when they heard the hot mic moment for a reason.
You go yourself. I'm done with her because I'm not a whore and I don't cheat on my husband.
I have never talked badly about Meredith to Jen, Heather, Whitney, anybody, not even my husband.
I'm trying to understand that I could be safe with her again, that it wouldn't happen again. I'm trying to understand what prompted this. It certainly wasn't that I called her house because that didn't happen. Or no, I said her renovations were I guess is what she says.
But you said like I live in a house.
I didn't talk about your house, Lisa.
And somebody had just told me that she's making fun of the renovations on my house. And I'm like, well, at least I own a house that I can renovate. So it was literally like me just being so frustrated with her that I was just like saying like whatever came to my head.
Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't. Because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes?
When I said, why don't you own a house? Because Seth changes jobs every 5 minutes. It's because of things Meredith has said. Since season 1, she said, if I were up to Seth, we'd move every Tuesday and Thursday. And, she doesn't stick around in Utah very long. So I was just like venting. There was no cameras in my room. I was half dressed, packing my suitcases to leave. And I was talking to myself, as ridiculous as that sounds. I don't need a doctor. I'm mentally well.
The only thing I can think of is she wanted to decimate an entire congregation's faith because Mary said her tequila was shit, and I wasn't going to participate. And I think she got pissed off and acted like a 2-year-old.
What Meredith just did is so f***ed up. I am f***ing done.
Unless she shows me something to change that point of view, I have no way to believe anything else. She's given me nothing else to work off of.
She wants me to admit I'm crazy. I made it all up so that she doesn't feel bad about all the things she's done to me. It's justification for her retaliation.
Why are you so busy trying to put everyone else down in this way when there are all these rumors flying about you?
And I can't give her that. I can't give her that, and I'm not gonna give her that because it's not true.
Trust me, when Lisa had her hot mic moment, I was jumping up and down on my bed because I was like, finally the world gets to see Lisa. Because at that point in time, I felt a certain way about Lisa. But now that I have the full story and I have experienced all the ladies differently, Lisa deserves forgiveness for that.
I mean, we're all human. We make mistakes.
Yeah, and Lisa, Meredith said it when we wrapped the reunion, season 2 reunion. We all went out to SIR together. And Meredith said to Lisa, your hot mic moment made you more of a star. She said you should have been hated for it and you became iconic. And Meredith has made swag. Meredith has made swag off of it. So clearly, Meredith is okay with it. She's just punishing Lisa.
Yeah.